Have you ever had a teacher that kind of looks like this one does? Super excited about terms you may not be familiar with yet? For us, this meant multimodality and composition. This is where our journey begins. In the beginning, we were overwhelmed with questions about this topic, like what is composition, and what does multimodal even mean? More importantly, how does this look in the classroom? Also, how does actually performing these tasks make us better teachers? Trying to force ourselves to become comfortable with some of these terms proved to be harder than we thought. We could talk about how we were going to try and put multimodal inside the classroom all day long, but actually having to make our own multimodal projects seemed to be a little bit harder. With some help, we learned how important multimodality in the classroom is. In Bridget Dalton's article, Multimodal Composition in the Common Core Standards, she talks about the shift of printed word on the page to multiple modes of image, sound, movement, and text on screen. Because of this shift, our classroom practices need to match what is happening in the real world. As we created our graphic narrative, our audio essay, and our video essay, we became increasingly excited to see our progress throughout the semester. Our professor allowed us to choose exemplars from each of these subjects to broadcast on our ePortfolio for future audience members to see. In one of our mentor texts, a quote said, "The necessary initial step is for teachers to develop performance knowledge through design themselves, and thereby more readily develop deeper understanding of the wild world of the digital age, where knowledge is multimodal, co-constructed, and performed or represented, not absorbed." We started to become increasingly confident with our ability to incorporate multimodality into our classrooms. However, sometimes we couldn't help but feel that we had to completely start over on some of our work to get it exactly where we wanted it to be. We learned that composing multimodal projects was not an easy task. At times, we felt like there was nothing left to give to multimodal composition. However, an article we read about pre-service English teachers working on video composition gave us hope. They struggled because they felt paralyzed by the lack of experience with the program and a fear that they didn't know how to use the technology. This gave us hope that we're not the only ones who struggle with incorporating it. Because of all the hard work that went into these multimodal compositions, we started to brainstorm how we could bring this to our pre-service classrooms. We thought of an idea of making an Instagram page for a short story the students were currently reading. Their task was to make an Instagram page that justified the theme of their choice in their short story. The students were thrilled to be using an outside social media source inside the classroom. They drew pictures, incorporated hashtags, and overall were super excited about this lesson. They were participating in multimodal composition without even realizing it. By actually performing some of these multimodal projects, we have put ourselves in the place of the student and thus become more aware of the feelings students might have when we are asking them to make these multimodal compositions. It has overall made us better teachers, and we can't wait to incorporate it inside of our own classrooms one day.
Created using Powtoon.